So much about the...
What is going on, everybody? It is episode 11 and it's Christmas time. Yep, my favorite time of the year. Pretty much. I like Halloween too, but Christmas is definitely my favorite. We're going to talk about the worst Christmas movies ever, according to us. We're also going to talk about the best Christmas movies ever, according to us. And we're going to have a little quiz. And when you're saying we, I have my wife with me today, the love of my life, the dingle to my berry, the lovely, the only Melanie Brosman. Welcome to the show.
Hello, darling.
Did you like that introduction?
I did. I wish you did that more often.
Even the dingle to my berry?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't think you were
not that part.
No. Okay. Well, I should have, told you.
I mean, it's better than other things you've called me.
That's what I was just going to say. There are other things that I was going to say, and that was sounded like the best one to do.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have Melanie on today because her and I are roughly the same age. I mean, she's a year older.
No.
But we are kids of the 80s. So our taste in movies are kind of aligned. Not always, but most of the time, especially when it comes to Christmas. I could have other people on, but if they're not the same age, their tastes might be a little bit different. I figured we'd talk about let's talk about, I guess let's do the best ones first. Because to me, the fun part's going to be talking about the worst.
Yeah.
Because
there's some bad ones.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first one on my list, and this is, I'm not going to do, best to last or vice versa, but I'm going to go Christmas Vacation.
Of course.
Christmas isn't Christmas if you don't watch Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
And I remember when it first came out, a lot of people didn't like it. And it's one of those things where it's just a classic.
Well, I remember when it came out and we went to go see it in the theater, and the theater was sold out that I actually sat in the aisle. Like, there were no seats.
Wow.
But at that time, I remember being like, oh, I mean, it's okay. It's really appreciated more if you're an adult.
I mean, but that's when Chevy Chase was still Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Because after that, they did Vegas Vacation, and I know there's some people I know like it, but I don't know why. I don't know.
No.
It wasn't good.
No.
But
there doesn't need to be a whole movie about Cousin Eddie.
While there was it's funny that you mentioned that, because there was a Christmas Vacation 2, and I believe that Eddie was like the main guy in it. Yeah. Well, we're not. Trust me, it was not good. I don't have it on my list as worst, but I
don't know that one.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Well, not a lot of people do. But yeah. So Christmas Vacation is definitely on my list. So what's one of them on your list there?
Well, the one I have to watch every year is It's a Wonderful Life.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite.
I still have not seen that.
I know you've never seen all the way through.
I don't know.
A lot of people haven't seen it from the beginning, from the start, because a lot of times they'll show it. They'll skip the beginning part on TV, and just show when he attempts to jump off the bridge.
Right. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
And isn't there like a guardian angel there or something? Yeah.
Yeah, but the beginning, it's the guardian angel talking to God, basically, and Joseph. And they know that George is in trouble, and so they send the guardian angel to help George.
You think God would have been like, he's in trouble, so let's send him some cash. You know what I mean? I mean, what was that? Was that the?
That's what he needed.
That
Yeah,
was like
he
the
had
19,
lost.
What 30s, 40s? So it's like
Well, the whole thing.
Throw him 1,000. That's gonna set him up, right?
Yeah, the whole thing was that he had left this money. He lost us all this money, and so he was gonna basically kill himself for the insurance money to help his family out.
Insurance. You don't get the insurance money if you kill yourself.
Well, it's a movie.
And you go to hell, supposedly.
Well,
if you're Catholic.
In this case, he got a guardian angel.
I just see, of course, everybody knows.
And everybody thought he was crazy.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings, and it's like,
yeah. But I just like it because it's older. It seems a little more wholesome or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic, too. I mean, like a true classic throughout the times.
Yeah.
But that's another one I don't see on, like, that often. I don't even think I've seen it on Netflix or on demand.
No. It's been on demand before. We have a DVD of it, but I just don't think a lot of people care for it now, especially because, kids younger than us, they don't want to watch it.
Well, that's like when
I grew up watching it with my grandparents.
Yeah. Well, that's like we have family come over on Christmas Eve, and it's all my aunts and uncles, and they're older now, and they always want to watch the Bells of St. Mary, and it's like, what are you talking about? Well,
every year we hear, White Christmas is a sequel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing I know from back then, know? They're like the Bells of St. Mary. And then it becomes, it's like every Christmas Eve, it's like, well, let's see if we can find it on. Well, no one has it on.
No.
Or like maybe the Turner
Classic.
Yeah.
No. But no.
Old people.
But I do like It's a Wonderful Life. And the other old one I like is White Christmas, of course.
Yeah.
But that one is on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. White Christmas is another thing. I have a hard time watching White Christmas ever since I watched a documentary on Bing Crosby.
Oh.
And he's so not the guy. Well, I shouldn't say that. He was the guy that he was on TV, but he wasn't. Like, he was a horrible father, I guess. Not mean or anything, but he just was like, he was not good with kids. Like, he didn't have too much to do in their life.
Well, he was probably really taken care of, and he didn't want to take care of kids.
It was that really weird time, too, in Hollywood where it was just...
Well, a lot of dads didn't take care of
Yeah, it was just, The
dads worked.
The mothers
stayed home.
Yeah. The good days.
Hey, I'll gladly quit. No, I'm kidding.
All right, so the second one I got on my list is, pretty much a given to is Christmas Story. The show or the movie that's shown 24 hours a day. And, and like I was telling you earlier, every year I hear the same thing. Oh, man, people are saying, I'm so sick and tired of that. It's on for 24 hours. I'm like, well, how many times do you watch it? Just watch it once.
Well, because
it's not like you watch it any other time of the year.
Well, because you turn it on and it's already like halfway through.
So you watch it again.
So you got to watch the end, and then you got to watch the whole thing all over again.
That's true.
And then, you get interrupted or whatever, so you got to watch it again. And then people come over and they want to watch it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. That's true.
What year did that come out? Christmas Story. Do you know?
Sometime in the 80s. Right?
Because
it was the 80s.
You ever I first saw A Christmas Story at my grandparents' house, but they had recorded it off of like HBO or whatever it was on, some kind of premiere channel. And I remember like they had recorded it, so we got to watch it, and we thought that we were the only ones that had ever seen A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Because they recorded it, and it wasn't like from Blockbuster or whatever.
And that was probably before like it became the thing that it is now.
I was just like on TV or something. I don't know. And then when other people started talking about it, like later, I'm like, you've seen A Christmas Story? And they're like, yeah. Haven't you? I'm like, I thought we were the only ones.
Well, it was that weird thing. I don't even know. Did that?
We were kind of
I don't even know if that came out to the movies or.
I don't know either.
I just remember watching it on TV, and my dad always liked watching it because I think it reminded him a lot of him growing up, because it was about that time when he would have been a kid.
I'm sure he kind of looked like the kid from A Christmas Story.
Well, and he had, he was that kid. He had the BB gun. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the day and age, and he came from very much a working class family.
Yeah.
Where the mom, my grandmother stayed home and my grandfather worked, but you can go. That's a museum.
It's a museum, yeah.
And I actually, because one of the guys I work with, Chuck, he'd actually gone there because it's in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then they had, I think it was last year or the year before, I think it was on TV, or maybe I watched it on YouTube, but there was like somebody had gone out there. It was like an actual TV show and like went through it and everything. And they even have like the car in the garage.
Yeah, I saw something too where they went through it. And it's all set up exactly.
And now this year, there's something going on where you can, I think, win a thing to stay there for a night or something. That's so weird.
That would be weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, unless you'd have to reenact the whole movie then while you were there. I mean, what else would you do?
Yeah, I don't know. Because what are they
going to
it's a museum. They're going to be like,
shove a kid's face in
nothing.
his mashed potatoes or something.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to touch anything. It'd be like, I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah, what would you do?
Do they got cable?
No.
They got Wi-Fi?
They got nothing.
Well, they got a gift shop.
They got the gleaming sex in the window.
They got a gift shop. So if you want any food, you got to go to the gift shop and buy it. But it closes at 7. So.
Yeah. You got to bring your own food.
Okay. Moving on. Oh, no. What's one on your list there?
We just watched it. Home Alone.
No, yeah. And I'm going to, because I have this on my list, but I put 1 and 2 in there together. Because even though 1's the classic, I think 2's just as good.
It's not bad. It's not as good as the first one.
No, but I think the only thing that 2
comparable.
has, yeah, I think the only thing that 2 has going against it is like the person he connects with is a little bit worse.
Yeah.
Instead of the crazy old guy, that ends
homeless
up,
lady.
Yeah, a homeless lady with pigeon poop on her, and it's like,
yeah.
And it wasn't until like later on in life that I was just like, I'm like, this is odd. This is so odd.
Yeah.
Well,
I know we talked about it with the first Home Alone, but now I'm thinking about the second one. I'm like, there's a lot of loopholes in that too.
Oh yeah. I think now from being up in Chicago and seeing what like a true homeless person's like that lives out on the street.
Yeah.
That lady ain't it.
No.
Not anywhere
close.
No,
she would have been like talking to the birds.
Oh boy. And she would have been a lot more rough. Like you could tell, like she had the perfect teeth, but they're like, okay, make
just rub some dirt on her face.
Yeah,
eat some Oreos or something.
Like, yeah. And she's got like she's very educated and everything, and she just happens to know how to get into the theater to watch.
Yeah.
The symphony or something.
Symphony or something. Yeah. But again, like the guy at the toy store, the owner, and Kevin walks in there and there's no parents around, and he's just like, oh, hey, here, have these 2 turtle doves.
Okay, but now hold on. See, now this is a discussion we had earlier.
Yeah.
You think that's weird, but he in the first one, he goes into the grocery store and he's like, my mom's out in the car. Dude, he's 8 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like,
8 years old.
No, not 8 years old, but I mean, that was a different time. Maybe I could see it going in for, he only had like 4 things or something.
But the funny thing is, I didn't even think about that until
but like this is
parents.
like a toy store, and he's like, what is he doing there?
Well, it's FAO Schwartz, and they went out of business.
Yeah.
At least they were, and now they are.
But do you remember he had the recorder?
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
it became like a huge toy out at Toys R Us and stuff.
That goes for big money on eBay. And the thing
really?
Oh, yeah. And the thing's a piece of junk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because everybody tried to use it like he did, and it didn't work that way.
Yeah. But like when you go back and watch it now, like Rob Schneider's in it, and Tim Curry's in it, of course.
Yeah. And you know who else is in it? The Donald.
Oh, that's right. Well, he is in it.
Because at the time he owned the Plaza Hotel.
That's right.
I don't know if he still. I don't think he still owns it, but yeah.
I forgot that. Oh God.
Okay.
All right, go on.
Scrooged.
Yes.
Bill Murray being Bill Murray in a Christmas movie.
Oh, that one is so.
That's another one.
Good.
There's some actors that I think in the pitch they're just like, okay, Bill, it's gonna be A Christmas Carol again, but we want you to be you in it.
Yeah.
You know, he never plays a character. He says, "We want you plus 15%." So like 115% Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you got Bobcat Goldblum.
Right.
And it's just, yeah, I mean, but the whole movie is him.
Right.
They couldn't have done it with anybody else.
I don't think so.
Because what you take. I was thinking about this the other day. You take him out, and it's like the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Well, I just thought it was really clever how they, when it was Christmas past, how he starts out like real nice, and you know he's got his girlfriend, and he's on this show, and he's working his way up, and it's, you know, you kind of like him, but he's kind of a jerk, but likable. And then I love the taxi driver dude.
Oh yeah, and I can't remember what else he was in. I think he was just like one of those stand-up comedians from the 80s.
I mean, I know he was in other stuff, but you know, he's all crazy, and
he's like one of those actors that you see in things and like, oh, I don't know the guy's name, but he's in a bunch of
stuff. He's in everything.
Yeah.
Got little cameos and everything. But I thought it was real clever how they did it. And then in the future, like when he gets on the elevator and he's like, "Back off, man."
Yeah. He's like, "Did our people do that?"
Yeah, that was, I like that movie a lot, especially like in the end, and he's singing, you know, just like he does.
And it's one of those movies that you don't hear a lot of people give him credit to, but it really does.
Everybody know, like when you talk about it, everybody knows
and
it.
And it's on every service, streaming or whatever. So it's like one of the one. It's the quiet one in the room that everyone's watching, but not really a lot of people just sit there and talk about it. Or maybe they do. I don't know.
I don't know. I like it. I think it's funny.
You got another one?
As a kid, the one I waited for every year was the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The cartoon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, by far.
Yeah. I mean, we would sit there and just, because, you know,
it was a classic.
In the early 90s, they weren't like, oh, the Grinch is going to come on and this channel at this time. It was just like, you had to have to catch it. And it's like, the Grinch is on. Stop what you're doing.
And plus, you know, I didn't really think about it till later on when I was older. But I'm like, you know, I wonder if the same people that animated did the drawings for Looney Tunes, they did that because it's like the same style, art style.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at like the old Looney Tunes, and then the Grinch, it's the same.
Yeah. I don't know.
With a lot of the same sound effects.
Maybe they collaborated.
You know what? It's probably done by Warner Brothers, so.
Yeah. I never really looked into it that much.
And then what? Last night we watched, or a couple nights ago, The Grinch with
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Last night, yeah.
That one kind of freaks me out a little bit. It just creeps me out a little bit, but I mean, but he does. I mean, if you're gonna do live action, it's the best one.
I just today saw an interview he did on the Graham Norton. Is that his name? The UK guy?
Yeah.
That he did on that show. And he said, he was talking about the Grinch, and they said, the interviewer said, "We heard you got trained by Navy SEALs for the Grinch part." And he was like, "Not exactly."
What?
It was, I guess, however much stuff they had to put on him to be the Grinch, he became like super paranoid. Like he felt like he was being buried alive in all of the makeup and parts and everything they had to put on him. So one of the producers or something had a guy from the CIA, no, not CIA, but like a guy who had trained Navy SEALs to withstand torture.
Okay.
So he gave Jim Carrey like all of these ideas on how to get his mind off of what was happening to him and to be calm.
God, I can only
imagine. And so they ran through all these scenarios, and so he was like, I was smoking a lot, and I was trying to like dance around and tell jokes and be silly. And he said the one thing that worked the most was, he goes, I listened to every Bee Gees song I could find. He was like, something about the Bee Gees relaxed him. to play the Grinch.
You got to do what you got to do.
Because he said after doing it a couple times of putting all that makeup on, he was going to quit.
Oh, and I bet you it probably took at least 2-3 hours just to put all that on.
He said the first time they did it, it took them 8 hours.
Oh.
And they had to, and then, I'm sure they, got it down to a science, but he said they had to put him in makeup and the whole gear 100 times for that movie.
Jeez.
So,
well,
you should appreciate it a little bit more when you watch it next time.
He did like I said, who else are you going to get to do that?
Yeah,
that's going to do anywhere close to a good job. It still creeps me out, though.
I think Jim Carrey is like just a Dr. Seuss character in general.
Yeah, he's just a cartoon character come to life.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. A newer one, Polar Express.
It's very soothing.
Yeah.
The Polar Express is, I believe.
Yeah, I just like it because they get like 4 characters that are Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Tom Hanks? I mean, come on.
He's national treasure.
And then and then that's Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, forgot.
But I just like at the end, like, every movie and show has their own take on what, the elves and the North Pole look like. And I love how they do this one. And like at the end when they're waiting for Santa to come out and all the elves start singing.
Yeah. Better watch out.
Better watch out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It
was super well done.
Oh yeah. And I think it's a great kids movie too. I don't know if it's going to be a classic as time goes along, but that's another one.
I think it gives a really good message, and
it's different.
Yeah, it is very different.
Because what are all the Christmas movies? Just about all of them. They're like, there's somebody that's not quite sure if they believe in Santa or know the Christmas spirit, and then they learn it as the thing goes on. And this one's no different, but at least
we'll get into that in the bad ones.
Huh?
We'll get into more of that
in
the bad Christmas movies.
Yeah. Well, we're not doing any Hallmark movies, right?
No.
Okay, or Lifetime.
No. They're all legit, like, we're in theaters.
Okay.
Now, I don't know anybody else that likes this movie. Never met anybody who was like, oh, I love that one. But it's my favorite, my second favorite, One Magic Christmas.
Mm-hmm. I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
I've watched it once with you.
It's got drama and hope and Christmas and the cute little kids.
So you're going to have to do all the talking about this because I vaguely remember.
I love it. But
a lot of people think of it as one of the best, like one of the top Christmas movies every year. I see it listed on demand and on Netflix all the time every Christmas. So, I don't think you're the only one.
No, I just have never met anybody that's like, oh, yes, I love that movie. Normally when I say it, they're like, I've never seen it.
Well, it's not a happy go feeling.
It's not.
It's a little bit depressing because doesn't the father end up passing away?
Yeah. Well, he gets shot.
Yeah. And
it's like a family. They're down on their luck and, they're going to sell their home and stuff. And so he goes to the bank to try to get a loan or something. And somebody comes in and robs the bank and he tries to stop them. And they shoot him and he dies. And then the robber runs out of the bank, jumps in the car, and it's got his 2 kids in the back.
Oh, geez.
And so he rushes down. He's like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. I just need to get out of here and I'll leave you somewhere where they'll find you. Well, the cops come, chase him down, and he veers off the road and crashes into like this lake.
Oh, wow.
And supposedly they all drown.
Oh, really?
But I know it sounds super horrible movie, but the mom needs to have like this Christmas spirit. Like, that's what this whole thing has done for.
So she's by herself in this because the kids are dead too, huh?
Yeah, she was at work when all this goes down, and so they tell her, like, yeah, your husband's been shot, your children are dead, they drowned, whatever. And so she's sitting in her home like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And like the grandparents show up and they said, we found the children, they're alive. And it's that this Christmas angel had come and saved the children, and he had been chosen for this family to bring back Christmas spirit and hope and all of these things back to this family because they had such hard times.
Well, yeah. I mean, that happens when your husband and 2 kids get killed.
Yeah.
But
they bring him back, but then the daughter is like, it was the angel. He brought us back to you. He said that you needed us and da-da-da. And so the mom's just like, yeah. You were saved. Like, she still doesn't believe.
Right.
And then time goes on and she tells them about their dad and all of this. And then eventually she believes in Christmas, and like there's a whole part about the little girl meeting Santa Claus and bringing back a letter from when the mom had written a letter to Santa Claus and all this stuff. And so she eventually believes in Santa Claus, and it like time gets reversed and the dad comes back and everybody's happy and everybody believes in Christmas and everybody's a miracle and they get lucky in their money, and it's a wonderful life again. Mm-hmm. So it was like tragedy and then reversed, which sounds like, when you talk about it, it sounds really bad. But
I mean, it's a real downer, but I mean,
but it's a good ending, and it's full of 80s wonderfulness. And
well, I mean, Christmas movies are either really cheesy and comedy, or they're just kind of downers. You know?
It's always got to be, you got to get like super down,
and then
they bring it all back together, and it's you got to withstand tragedy to realize your full gratitude of your life.
Well, I've had about enough tragedy this year.
Yeah, no shit.
That I can take. All right. Well, this next one on my list. Look, Christmas movies, a lot of them, the bad ones, aren't necessarily bad because they're bad. It's because they don't know what they are. They think they're something else, but they don't realize that they're bad. They take themselves too seriously. But I'm going to tell you one movie, Christmas movie, that I think is a good movie just because it knows what it is and it owns it. And that's Ernest Saves Christmas.
Oh, my God.
I know, right? But listen, that guy was a comedy
know what I mean?
genius. You know what I mean, Vern? And look, the movie is, have you seen any other Ernest Goes to Camp or any of the other ones? This is what it is, but it's a Christmas movie. Yeah. And it is what it is. When you hear that, you don't have an expectation of it being like super good. And it's not. It's not good, but it is ridiculously funny because it's just so dumb. And that guy was all in, and he made such a great career out of that character. And I just love it.
He did it so well.
And it's not a good movie, but none of those movies were good. But they were funny,
but they're good because they're bad.
Yes, and this is one of those movies that it knows what it is, and it's fine with that.
Yeah, it's just something to take your mind off of stuff and have fun.
I just always remember him showing up because he'd always mess with that Vern guy. He'd always end up fuck with him. And I just remember him showing up at Vern's house with this big old Christmas tree and jamming it in through the front door. And, he's like, oh, God, little problem getting that in. You know what I mean, Vern? And it's like,
yeah.
I don't know if that guy's still alive. I don't think he is.
No, he's not.
But
he passed away.
God bless that guy.
Yeah. But you're right. He made a mint off of that character.
I mean, I hope he did.
I'm sure he did.
I would think so. Because he had I don't even think that that was like a movie character originally. Wasn't it like a TV show or something? Or like a comedic short or something? I don't even know.
Something like that. I don't remember either.
I don't know the depths of Ernest.
Yeah, I've never studied
right.
Ernest.
No.
What was his name? Ernest P. something.
Farkle? I don't know.
That's not Farkle.
Farkle.
Not Farkle.
Okay, well, I don't know. I mean,
It was like Ernest P. something. I don't remember.
all right. You got another one there?
The only other one that I really like to watch is the old 1930s A Christmas Carol, because it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's spooky. You know, the makeup is
The black
scary.
and white.
Yeah, black and white.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, you know, really feels like haunting.
Eerie. Yeah. I don't remember the last time I seen it.
I only really like it because my grandma and I used to watch it every year, and she was the reason why I started watching it, because she liked it. It was one of her favorites, and she wanted me to watch it with her. And I really do like it, but now you have that sentimental part of it.
But you know which version's better than that? The Jim Carrey Christmas Carol.
Absolutely not.
There's
I thought you were going to say Muppets.
Well,
That's my mom's favorite.
yeah. I mean, well, that's what I was going to say. There were so many different versions.
Yeah, there is a lot of different versions.
I think even
it's a good story, though.
I think even Patrick Stewart did one like a handful of years ago. It's like Captain Picard does. Make a show number one.
Yeah. Oh, God.
All right. So, actually, almost skipped over this one, but I love Tim Allen in the Santa Claus, the original one.
Of course.
Dude, I know I always talk about how all these Christmas movies have the same agenda. It's always kind of the same template.
Yeah.
But whoever came up with the idea of the Santa Claus, of somebody like Santa Claus dying and then you putting on him disappearing and putting on his thing or his outfit, and then you become Santa Claus and it actually be a decent movie.
Yeah.
Bravo, because it
was such an original idea.
It has aged a little bit the last couple times I've seen it, and it's like 90s, kind of 90. You know, you definitely get a nice heavy dose of the 90s in that.
Yeah, but
it's great. And Tim Allen, I think that was Tim Allen's like first foray into movies, because he was still doing Tool Time. Like, he was really big into Tool Time. And then he went into this, because I remember when he was in the workshop first there, and he puts up that little tool belt, kind of like a nod to Tim the Two-Man Taylor. And I loved Tool Time. And then he came up with this, and it's just great. And this is definitely one of those movies when I go back, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many plot holes. And the one that really just, I don't know, that I always think of is like, okay, so the other Santa dies, right? And he puts it on, and now he's Santa. And they finish, that first night they finish dropping off all the toys, and then it just takes them to the North Pole, right? And so they come down, and now here are all the elves. So these elves have been with this other Santa for God knows how long, and none of them care.
No.
None of them are shedding a tear.
It's
right?
probably it's like when they get hired, it's like you cannot emotionally connect with Santa ever.
But you know, I know it's totally me overthinking it, but it's like, so no one's just like, maybe we should.
Well, the head elf did, though. He's like, let me guess.
Well,
the other Santa disappeared, and he put the coat on.
But it was so fact of the matter.
Yeah.
And it was like, that guy died. I mean, who was he?
Who was he? Yeah.
Because obviously he was a normal guy before he became Santa Claus. You guys didn't. I mean, maybe he was
It's all business.
Maybe he was just the worst Santa Claus ever. You know, all the elves are like, God, thank God we got rid of that fucking dude.
Dan, it's not personal. It's business.
You
got to go with the mattresses.
Yeah. God, why does everybody, you know, I seen a list today that had, or no, it wasn't a list. It was kind of a list that Google listed You Got Mail as a Christmas movie. I'm like, no, it's not.
I saw that too, yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not. That's like saying Harry Met Sally is a Christmas movie, because
but they said that too, because it just has Christmas in it.
Yeah.
No.
I was just like, well, no, it's not.
I mean, but You've Got Mail has all seasons in it, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's an all-season kind of movie. One of the best.
One of the best. Okay, Mel. You got another one?
I didn't write down any more.
No, I do have some more here.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I got one more, and then I got some honorable mentions here.
Okay.
Bad Santa.
Oh, yes. I wrote that down for something else, but
It is.
so wrong.
It's so wrong.
But
Billy
so right.
Bob Thornton. Dude. Billy, that was another movie where they were just like, Billy Bob, just be Billy Bob.
I just want to know, like, with that kid that was in it,
Mm-hmm.
did they have earplugs in his ears at certain points, or is that kid just traumatized now? Or was he older and they just made him look younger?
I don't know.
Because that movie was messed up.
Yeah, and then he comes. Well, he kind of falls in love or whatever with that that bartender,
Yeah.
and then she's banging him because she always wanted to bang a Santa.
Santa, yeah.
And then, but he's a robber with that midget and or the
Little
I don't
person.
know what you can call him. I'm sorry. That little person and his Asian wife or something, and she's all cuckoo crazy.
Yeah. Well, she just is like just having him buy her all these things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course, so like the kid's there with the grandmother who's
Who was out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's all senile, but because I think the
We made
father
you
was
some
in prison for
sandwiches.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sandwiches.
What's up with you and the sandwiches?
Damn. That was one of my lines.
That was mine too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's off there. But yeah, I mean,
that's the only line I really like in that movie.
that was
What's up with you
and
the
God
sandwiches, kid?
God rest his soul, but when one of the last things that I think Ritter was in, John Ritter, before he died, because he was like the head guy at the mall or something, and then Bernie Sanders, yeah, but
Bernie.
Bernie Sanders is in it too. He's still
No.
alive though.
Yeah.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie
Mac.
Mac. Yes,
boy,
that's
that is
right.
those
That's
are two
yeah.
different guys there,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So
Bernie Sanders.
So my number one, and this is an honorable mention because this is too much of a slam dunk. My number one Christmas movie of all times, Die Hard.
Oh, that's all you. I mean, I'll watch it with you, but
Look,
that's a man thing. I believe.
Mel, I was the original dude that said that this was a holiday film, and then everybody
Started
else,
the trend.
then everybody else, all of a sudden, like 2-3 years ago, was like, you know what, Die Hard's a holiday movie. It's like, I fucking said that. No, that was me. That was me, motherfuckers. That was me. And then, the whole thing where people are dumb enough to like really make like an argument for it. It's like, come on. Obviously, it's not a Christmas movie, but there can be an argument made for it in the slightest, and like maybe it just barely kind of being a Christmas movie because there was those undertones there.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I mean, it's a Christmas
obviously
party they were having, right?
Nakatomi Plaza, man. It's not Christmas time until Hans Gruber falls out the 30th floor of the Nakatomi Plaza building.
Snape.
Yeah, God rest his soul too, man.
I
God.
know.
All these
So
guys
sad.
dropping like flies, man. And then another one that actually I seen when I went online. I was preparing for this because I'm like, I didn't want to forget something. And they put it on here, and I'm like, this is probably more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard. But Gremlins.
Yeah. Well, the whole that whole story that Phoebe Cates tells.
When they're in the
Yeah.
Damn.
I remember watching that, and we just get so scared with that
You know,
part when
and-
she talks about.
And I forgot about that too. That when she does that story.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Not that I watch Gremlins all the time, but it was.
I like
It was a
Gremlins a
handful of
lot.
years ago. The last time I watched it, and it had been a long time since I watched it before that. And it was on one night. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna watch it. And then they got to that point. I'm like, right. I totally forgot about this story. I'm like, God
But that's
damn,
again, it's like the
that's-
whole
that's
midst.
fucked
All
up.
of these little creatures are all running around, trying to scratch people to death or whatever. And she stops to tell the story about her father climbing down the chimney and breaking his neck.
And then the smell.
Yeah, and it's the smell. We thought it was a dead bird or a cat.
Ugh.
He was dressed in a Santa suit.
Only the 80s could have that movie
Yeah.
been great.
Yeah. And then they're just like, oh, here comes the Gremlins again. That one, even though I love Gremlins, watched it since I was a kid, but that's one where that it's so bad it's good.
Oh yeah. And that was the first gig that Baby Yoda had when he still had his hair as Gizmo. Yeah. Because I just remember watching The Mandalorian and those kids were going. That one episode, the kids were going to say bye to him, and he's just standing there, and I'm just like, what if he
Billy.
said, yeah, bye, Billy?
Bye, Billy.
Well,
Bright light.
yeah, that's all I really had for that. For like good movies.
Yeah, I'm sure that there are plenty other newer Christmas movies that are out there, but
Yeah,
I'm not interested.
Okay, Mel. Well, I want you to start off the bad movies here. What do you got there? Because we got to have some overlapping.
All time. Now, my personal all-time bad Christmas movie is the Santa Claus the movie with Dudley Moore.
1985. I have
Yeah.
that on here. I got
Only because Dudley Moore as an elf, knowing his history, Dudley Moore's history of being like a drunk and womanizer and creep, and here he is, an elf, like, hey kids. It's like, ew.
It is definitely
super creepy.
It is definitely a movie that didn't stand the test of time.
No.
I will say that. I loved this movie growing up. I loved it. All I wanted to do was live at the North Pole. I loved it.
It scared me.
Watching it not too long ago, maybe a couple Christmases ago, boy, and that's a long movie. That's a fucking long movie.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, just because I don't like it. It's scary.
I loved it, and I mean, him. Well, it was so weird too, because like Dudley Moore had made that machine to help with make the toys, and it worked out really well at first, and then all the kids got the toys, and they were falling apart, and then he kind of got cast out of the North Pole, and then he went to work for that what actor his name is that businessman, but he's from 30 Rock, that John Lithgow, is it Lithgow? Is that how you say his name? Lithgow, okay. And pretty much brought this sack of like the I don't know, pixie dust or magic dust that they would feed.
So bad.
Yeah. Well, they would feed the reindeer to make them fly.
Yeah.
And so they made like these lollipops with this in there, so people could like fly or float or whatever.
See, I don't even remember any of this.
But what they found out is that if you kept that stuff near heat, it would explode.
Oh God.
And so but Dudley Moore didn't know that, and then and there was a homeless kid that was befriended this rich girl, and she kind of saved them, and then Santa Claus adopted both of them kind of at the end.
It's just weird.
Yeah, it is weird now that I think back, but I just remember I'm like, I want to live in the North Pole.
No.
And I want Dudley Moore.
Well,
I want the Dudley Moore from Arthur.
That's what I was thinking of, because I'm like, he's super drunk and creepy and tiny, and
that dude could play drunk though like no other.
Because he was drunk.
Yeah. He's pulling a Dick Van Dyke on the Mary Poppins.
I just didn't care. I thought it was creepy.
Okay.
You go ahead.
Well, already know how I feel about this movie, but it's Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah, I have
God,
too.
I fucking hate this movie.
It's just they tried too hard.
Well, you know what it was is Tim Allen was doing the Santa Claus movies, and he was doing really well with them. So he almost got typecasted for like Christmas movies there for a minute. And it was so stupid with Jamie Lee Curtis, and like they supposedly they were the people on the block that were like the biggest Christmas people. They'd have the party and all the decorations, and then one year they decided not to do it.
Yeah.
And they were gonna go on some
I don't even know.
tropical trip, and then they decided not to, and like he got Botox or something. I don't know. It's just stupid. It was stupid.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's all I know, or at least remember, because it's just that.
They're just full
dumb.
on like too much chaos and too much like shoving all the jokes in your face.
And that thing is shoved down your throat every Christmas now. It is everywhere on TV, and it's like, really? Have you guys actually watched this? It must be one of those movies that they get for cheap to play in there.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't cost anything, so we'll just throw another Christmas.
It's like,
movie
oh, we
out
don't
there.
have anything to put here.
Oh,
Let's
hey,
just
it's got Tim
put
Allen and
Christmas
Jamie
with
Lee
the cranks
Curtis
on.
before she started doing those yogurt commercials for shit in your
For
pants.
shit in your pants. That would have made it more funny.
Yeah.
She would have ate some yogurt and shit her pants on that movie.
Activia.
Activia.
It's
Oh
like,
my God.
Okay, what do you got there? What's another one you have for bad Christmas movies?
Well, everybody's going to hate me for saying this, but I do not care for it. And I'll tell you, you already know why, but
I think I know which one you're going to
it's
say.
the Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah. I get it.
I just think it's a really bad story that basically the guy thinks he's Santa Claus, or he is Santa Claus, and he tells everybody he's Santa Claus, and they lock him up in the nut house. And by some miracle, everybody starts believing that he's Santa Claus, and then la la la. And the little girl is like a brat, and the mom's a bitch, and whatever.
Can I tell you that one of my guilty pleasures kind of is the newer one that they did in the late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah.
And I can't even think of like the actor.
The little girl that was in it was the same one as in Matilda, I think.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
She was a good actor. She was good. She was in that was like the time that she was in like flipping everything.
Everything. Yeah.
And then of course, the guy that owned Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
Dr.
Hammond.
Yeah, he was the one that
Was Santa Claus.
was Santa Claus.
Yeah.
It's totally not good. But I
mean, I know it's a
there's something
classic
about-
for some people, though. Like, well, the original one.
It is totally a classic.
But I just have never liked it. I never liked the whole idea. And then he had to go to court and prove
Well,
that he was
see, that's
Santa
the thing.
Claus.
I don't think the movie's a classic as much as that end scene when
Yes.
the guy's like, sees God on the dollar bill, and it's like, well, if the government can recognize God, then they should recognize blah blah blah. It's like, okay, yeah, I don't know.
It's too political.
Yeah.
Too political for Christmas.
Yeah. And it's a little dry because I hadn't seen the original one in a long time, and then I watched it and I'm bored as all hell.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on in it.
No.
Not really.
It's really only for like my grandparents.
Yeah.
Era.
It's a slow burn.
Okay, go.
Okay. Well, the next one is another one you definitely know about, and that's Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
This is stupid. This is so stupid. This is when Arnold was still kind of Arnold. What are you doing? This is dumb. Look, I get that he did Kindergarten Cop. Okay, I get that.
I love Kindergarten Cop, though.
Well, I love yeah. But, no. It's like, I feel like sometimes actors are kind of like music artists where, at least sometime in their career they got to put out that Christmas album or do that Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's got one.
Yeah.
But it's like, why does Arnold need it? The only thing that could have made this worse is if Stallone would have been in it. And for all we know, maybe Stallone might have gotten pitched this movie.
But
he'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to pass on it."
No. But Arnold did this movie that was bad, and what was the one where he was pregnant? That one was bad too.
Junior
He did a couple bad ones.
Yeah, because wasn't that with Danny DeVito too? Where Danny DeVito was a doctor?
I thought that was Tom Arnold.
Maybe it was Tom Arnold. God, it's been a long time
Yeah.
since. I don't even know. I've seen bits and pieces. I just remember that one time when he's like, "Feel my skin. It's so soft." I'm like, what the hell is this?
It's
You're
just
the
weird.
Freaking Terminator, man. Come on.
Yeah. He just wanted some extra money for his illegitimate baby.
Yeah. Or babies. Who knows? Okay.
Okay, now I have like a little combo. They're all about the same kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's The Family Stone. I don't know if you've watched that.
I don't know that one.
Family Stone and Stepmom. And I'm going to throw
Is
in
Stepmom like the one with Julia Roberts?
Yeah. And I'm going to throw in Jack Frost too.
I have Jack
Because
Frost.
they're all one of the parents dies.
Stepmother is a Christmas movie?
It's during Christmas.
See, I've never seen it, but
It's shown during Christmas, like they have
okay.
Christmas there. But like the Family Stone, the mom dies. The stepmom, the mom dies.
Okay.
And Jack Frost, the dad dies.
Dude, Jack Frost is so
but it's like
fucking depressing.
All three of them are so depressing. It's just a tear. I mean, well, Jack Frost isn't a tear fest, but the Family Stone and Stepmom are just forget it. You're just gonna have to get a box of tissues because there's no way to make it through without crying.
You know, I look at
and
Jack
Frost is just depressing and creepy.
I'm just like, so he gets reincarnated
as a snowman
that they made. I'd be so pissed at God. I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, so now they get to watch him die again. I mean, I get this.
Like,
oh, God,
I'm
it is
sorry,
so
but
bad.
if there was like a snowman talking to me, I would have beat the shit out of it and never went back outside again.
Yeah, I would have definitely
tore it down.
Yeah, I would have definitely gone back to the doctor and be like, look, something's going on with the meds.
Yeah, I was seeing talking snowmen.
Yeah, I got the snowman out front of my house, officer, and the fucking thing of it is he's talking and he sounds like fucking Michael Keaton.
I'm shocked that Michael Keaton agreed to do a movie like that. You know?
Now, they all, maybe it sounded better.
I think, the idea sounded better than when it was actually put into motion.
That's definitely
and then
one
it was
of the,
just like creepy.
That's the movie equivalent of like me thinking something's funny in my head, and then when I say it out loud, it's like, boy,
you should have kept that one.
That was no bueno on that one. Yeah.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, and Jack Frost is the only one I know about. I mean, I didn't even know the first one that you said, Family Stone?
The Family Stone, that's got Sarah Jessica Parker in it.
Ooh.
And the...
Mrs. Broderick.
Yeah. And the mom, I think it's Diane Keaton. I can't remember. But...
Does she have the oat bag in that one?
Stop it. What were they calling her in South Park?
Something, I don't it was something like Moose. I don't remember.
Something transvestite witch or something.
Yeah.
That's
classic.
bad.
Yeah. And true. Come on. I mean,
poor lady.
Yeah, I feel bad for her.
No, she's living in the lap of luxury.
Oh God. Well, it's funny that she was in that movie because her husband was in the next movie that's on my list, and this movie is shit.
What?
And it's Deck the Halls with Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick
about the decorating their houses for Christmas.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
That's the one where I want to just slap Matthew Broderick because he's like trying to be like, oh, I'm the nice dad, and then he like gets a little angry, and then and then Danny DeVito's like, hey, I'm better than you,
and it's supposed to be funny, but it just pisses you off during the whole thing, and it's like, this was a comedy because I was angry for 90% of this movie, or annoyed.
Super annoying because they're fighting over the best decorations, and then their families are like, but you're missing out on the true meaning of Christmas. And it's like, shut up.
Yeah, I mean, like Matthew Broderick, love Danny DeVito. Those are the only two actors I remember in it, and
they must have owed like the director a favor or something.
Either that, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
It was just like, hey, you want to make a quick, 100,000,
or and this may be true with some of these movies we're talking about. A lot of times, when an actor wants to do a certain movie, the studio will rope him in
Yeah,
by doing another movie, being saying, okay, so you want to do this.
That's true.
If you want to do this movie, then you got to do that movie. So, I mean, I don't know if that's true with any of these movies, but I mean, I would hope so.
I would hope so. Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise, no.
Yeah.
Now we've never watched this movie, but we make fun of it all the time because you know it's going to be bad. It's Santa Baby, Christmas Maybe.
See, no, but see, that's not a true movie.
I know, but I still had to mention it because we make fun of it all the time.
Well, first of all, there's two reasons why that's bad. Because number one, it's probably bad. I've never watched it, but
it's
it's one of those Hallmark Lifetime bullshit things. And number two, it's Jenny McCarthy. I can't stand her.
Annoying.
I can't stand her. She's like the one that it's like, hey, if I picked up my phone tomorrow and read on the news that she got ran over by a truck and then a plane crashed down on her and then like a volcano blew up, I'd be like, nah, that's too bad. I whatever.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Well, and then didn't they have a sequel?
Stuck to her little
Santa Baby,
wig.
Christmas Maybe.
I just said that. Oh, Santa Baby 2, Christmas Maybe.
I don't know if she was in that one too, but evidently
she's the Santa Baby.
Evidently, she needed to learn the meaning of Christmas 2 years in a row, or maybe she was the one teaching it. I don't know.
She forgot.
She's like, this year I'm teaching the meaning of Christmas to my autistic son, who's not really autistic from a vaccination.
I'm teaching everybody.
He's cured. He's cured, ladies and gentlemen. He wasn't.
If you take vaccinations, you're not getting the true meaning of Christmas.
I mean, I wrote that book, but it wasn't true. Sorry, guys. My bad. Well, here's another one, and I got this one kind of goes with another one I have on here. 4 Christmases with Vincent Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. And I've seen a quarter of this movie.
It's not great.
It's annoying. It's
But I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I can watch it, but it's not great. I like it just because of Vince Vaughn. I think he's funny in certain parts of it.
Well, Reese
Witherspoon's just annoying.
This was about that time where, and I think this came out before like Fred Claus, when Vince Vaughn did.
I love Fred Claus.
I have that on those list here too because it.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that one.
I know it's not a good movie, but. And that was another thing. Like how I said that Bill Murray, they probably pitched him Scrooge by saying it's Christmas Carol, just be you. Mm-hmm. That's what they. Well, just like any other movie that Vince Vaughn does,
he plays the same guy.
He just plays the same guy. He's always that special guy. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
We're just gonna get crazy and drink some brown liquor.
Yeah.
And get fucked up.
Yeah.
Just
gonna dance around a little bit.
You snap out of it. You stop projecting. But like
give a little sass.
And with. So anyway, 4 Christmases, and like Fred Claus, I really like Fred Claus, probably because of him, and I like Paul Giamatti.
He played a great Santa.
I didn't think he played that great of a Santa.
I think so.
But I love Paul.
I liked him as Santa.
I thought he was kind of a creepy Santa. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I think it's like the true Santa Claus is just beat down and tired, and they're about to lose the North Pole or whatever.
But I thought it was really interesting how how the whole premise of the movie was that, they were born a long time ago.
Yeah.
And Nicholas was such a good person, he became a saint, and when that happens, your family becomes immortals too.
Yeah. So
like even his parents, and his mother Kathy Bates, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I can't think of what the girlfriend's name was. She was the one that did all the mummies.
Right. I don't know her name.
And she's beautiful. I love her. And but yeah, it's just Vince Vaughn being Vince Vaughn, and then he has like this brother who just holds a grudge against Santa Claus for like ever. And then you got Kevin Spacey coming in because there's like a corporate thing for the immortals, and wants to shut him down because he didn't get his Superman cape back in the day or whatever.
He's bitter,
and Fred messes it all up for Santa Claus and then fixes it. And I mean, it's not a great movie, but it's
entertaining.
It's funny.
And it's got
funny.
some nice parts in it too.
But
The little boy gets his puppy.
yeah, but this movie is one of those that this was carried by one guy. Vince Vaughn wasn't in this movie. As much as I like Paul Giamatti and these other guys, it's not being carried. This movie is not going to be anywhere close.
Nobody
to being
else could have
watchable.
done it. Yeah.
No.
No.
So.
But you said 4 Christmases. Yeah. Yeah, they could have done better with it.
Yeah. It was like, okay, we're going to make a Christmas movie, guys, and get a couple big name actors.
That I didn't like about it was that I don't think that Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon made a good couple. They just were so opposite, and because she can't play like that kind of character that Vince Vaughn plays, where she's a little bit dirty, a little bit.
Yeah, I think what would kind of turn me off to this too, but by this time Reese Witherspoon was just annoying the shit out of me. Because she was just doing all that political stuff and feeling that, everybody needed to know where she stood on all this political stuff. And it's like, I don't care, Reese. Just make a movie. I'd like you as an actress. And then, congratulations on all those Legally Blonde movies,
Yeah.
But, well, I want to do my last one here because it's really not a movie. It is and it isn't. It's a holiday special. And this, to the people out there that are Star Wars fans, this is the pinnacle of shitfest as far as a holiday special goes. And that's the Star Wars Holiday Special.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh my God. This came out like when the originals were, I don't know if Empire Strikes Back had come out. But this thing was the worst thing ever. I've never watched it all the way through. But basically, from what I remember, it followed Chewbacca trying to get home to his family on Kashyyyk, their planet, for something called Life Day, which was what they were kind of calling Christmas there. Obviously, I don't know that the Wookiees are Christians.
No, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think they've heard the word of the Lord over there.
No.
But yeah, and I want to say that all the characters, the original characters, were in it. I mean, this is like I'm pretty sure this is like in between Empire and the original Star Wars, and it's just this every year this is like the joke where everyone brings this up, and it's just because it's just so bad. And it's funny because the first episode of Mandalorian, they reference this. Oh. When he captures that first guy, I don't know if you remember, he was the blue guy, the first guy that he gets on like that ice planet or whatever.
Okay.
And so he tells the Mandalorian, he's like, hey, do you mind if I go downstairs? I got to use the bathroom or whatever. So he's down there, and he's kind of looking through his stuff, trying to see if he can get away. And he was like, and he says, yeah, I was really hoping that, I was going to be able to get home to my family in time for Life Day. And I'm just like, dude, guys, kudos to you, man. I mean, only the nerdiest of the nerds are going to pick up on that reference. And I'm like, you know what,
I'd like to know how many of your followers remember that. I
don't know, but, there's probably a couple of them are going to be going, all like 15 listeners.
Anybody that listens to
but
this
I mean, there's probably going to be some people going on YouTube and looking that up. It was horrible, and it was I want to say it was like an hour-long show, and it just dragged, and it was just like, anyway, imagine where the main characters in the show are Wookiees, and there's all like and subtitles and everything,
like,
and it's just like, and that's what the main thing was. And it's like, who the hell thought that this was going to be
Han Solo? Can you come in here and translate for us?
Dude, no wonder why Harrison Ford wanted to be killed off, for Return of the Jedi, because he's like, look guys, I did the special for Christmas. Wasn't that good enough? It's like he said the story that Mark Hamill, he does a great Harrison Ford, but he's like, he's talking about them being in the trash compactor of the first Star Wars, and Mark Hamill points out, he's like, hey, he's like, you know, we were supposed to just get out of the trash compactor. My hair's dry. He's like, and I guess Harrison Ford looks at him. He's like, look, kid, it's not that kind of a movie. If they're noticing your hair, we're in big trouble. But he does it so much better because it's, you know, it's Mark Hamill,
Right.
and he does the voice like spot on.
That is so funny.
I don't know what that had to do with the Life Day thing, but yeah, horrible.
I had no idea that happened.
There's a lot of people that wish they had no idea it happened. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody's streaming that
You know what?
this Christmas.
We forgot to mention
What's that?
about one of the great Christmas movies. I can't believe we forgot to say this. Charlie Brown.
Yeah, well, you know,
I mean, it's a classic.
I think of Charlie Brown more of like a TV special, because that's why I didn't put
I guess
Rudolph
it wasn't in the
there.
theater or whatever.
I don't know if it was.
We
in
just
the
have to
theater,
mention it though because
well, yeah,
you know it's special to us.
Oh yeah, I mean, that is probably one of the top, I'd say, 5 classics of all time.
Yeah, it just takes you
then
like
the
right
music.
back to your childhood.
Yeah, and I love the music too.
Yeah.
I got it
That's
on
great.
vinyl over there. I think I bought it last year or the year before. So nice.
Yeah.
As soon as that comes on, it's just like, oh.
So relaxing. It's just taking you right back to when times were easier.
And it was nice because when they did the movie, finally did the Charlie Brown movie,
Yeah.
they had a lot of that music in there at the beginning when they were ice skating and all that. And it's like, oh,
Snow
man,
falling.
come on,
Right,
man.
Right.
Because, you know, me and Snoopy go back. And then
Right.
Ala and our son,
Yeah.
you know, he
Snoopy
was
fan.
Noopy.
Noopy.
Yeah.
I want to watch Noopy.
Like, get a rest. We've already seen it 4 times. It's not even noon.
Yeah. There were worse ones.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
liked, yeah. I'm a big Snoopy Charlie Brown fan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do a little bit of a game show here. It's going to be Name That Movie. And what we're going to do here, yeah, there's going to be music here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to do a little bit of a game show here, and we each have 4 lines from a Christmas movie, and we're going to try and stump the other person. Now, one of the criteria here is you got to pick from a movie that you know the other person's seen, because otherwise, what's the point? And most of these, I think you're going to be able to get. All right, so cue the music. Mel.
Yes. Me first?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. Look, the first line is, "What do you mean you didn't eat this? Who did? A squirrel?"
Is that the second Santa Claus?
Correct.
Yeah, Santa Claus 2.
I love it when Comet is out there all fat.
A squirrel?
And I love. We didn't mention that the second Santa Claus 2, but I love in the third Santa Claus. But anyway. And he's
The
out there,
Santa
and Comet had ate all the chocolate, and he's out there, and he's like, "Comet, you know this is bad for you," and he's like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." He's like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean you didn't eat it?" And he's like, "Rah, rah, rah." He's like, "Who ate it?" He's like, "A squirrel." It's so dumb, but every time I hear that, it's like it's so funny.
Yeah. It is funny.
I don't
It's got
know.
those crazy eyes going on.
Yeah.
Talking to a reindeer. Okay. Did you say I'm skillful and delicious?
That's Santa Claus 3.
Yeah.
Oh, Martin Short. I was going to say Steve Martin. Martin Short.
Martin Short.
You know,
He played a great Jack Frost.
yes, and everything I've seen, like the worst movies.
I know. Everybody hates
listen,
it.
God, come on. Okay, out of all 3 of the Santa
Yeah.
Clauses with Tim Allen, it probably
It's the worst. It's the least favorite.
least favorite.
Yeah.
But it's still good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like it.
Guys,
Steve
it's a
Mar- or
Christmas. It's a Christmas movie
Martin
for
Short.
fucking kids, man.
Yeah. Martin Short is hilarious.
I love that dude.
Yeah.
And he, at the end, when he's like, when she's giving him the hugs and he's thawing out, he's like, feeling all warm. And then I don't know what he says, something in Spanish.
Yeah. He's like,
and then he's got that comb, like that flat comb over or whatever haircut with the big ears.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude.
It's a total mama's boy.
Yeah. That bitch hit me with a toaster.
I had the beginning of this on my list. That's Scrooge.
Uh-huh.
Look, Frank, it's a toaster. Crazy bitch hit me with a toaster.
I love that. That's and I was hoping that you weren't going to say that when we were talking about Scrooge earlier because I was.
I was saving it because I had it in my list.
Yeah, because I was looking at you and I was just like.
And I was thinking about that today when I was using the toaster to make waffles.
I knew as soon as I said Bad Santa that you were going to.
Because I have to.
Well, yeah, because we say that all the time.
Yeah.
What's with the fucking sandwiches, kids?
Look, Frank, it's a toaster.
And I can't. Oh, and that was Carol Kane. Dude, I love her. Because she always plays that kind of little ditzy, because she had that voice.
Right.
So they always kind of put her in that little, like, role or whatever. I don't even know what kind of role that is. I just made a sound. Like, she had
something else.
She had that little voice.
Yeah, she did have a little voice.
But she could also, like, what kind of voice she had was, what's her face from Big Bang? Bernadette. She had a Bernadette voice, kind of.
She had like a Betty Boop voice.
Yeah. Which a little fun trivia.
But she had a little raspiness to it, too, so she could say, like, things really loud, too, and not be annoying.
Well, and a little fun fact, then, did you say olive oil for Christmas in...
I didn't say olive oil. I said Betty
Boop. Betty Boop. Well, actually, she did both. Both voices.
Yeah, she did.
The actress that played Aunt Edna in Christmas Vacation?
Aunt Edna, yeah.
Aunt Edna. She was the actress that did the voice.
No, it wasn't Aunt Edna. It was...
Oh, no. The
one at the table.
Aunt Edna was the one in the first summer.
Movie where she's strapped to the roof.
When she's like, don't throw me down, Clark. I can't
Aunt Bethany.
Aunt Bethany.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that till later on because I
didn't know that either.
Because I looked her up on IMDb and I'm like, dude, she did Olive Oil's voice and Betty Boop.
Betty Boop's voice.
I'm like, that's so awesome.
Let's see. You stink. You smell like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa. Actually, he whispers it. You stink. You smell like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa.
I know this movie too, and I'm drawing a blank here.
You don't like this movie.
It's not Uncle Buck, is it?
No, it's not a Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas. I know it's during wintertime.
I'll give you one more from it.
Okay, give me.
Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?
Oh God. Yeah.
Don't you remember that when Santa Claus comes in the department store?
That's not. Yeah. We didn't mention Elf. I'm surprised you didn't have it on any of your lists.
Well, because it's not one of my favorites. I can watch it.
But
I don't think it's bad either.
I want to like it. I really want to like it. And I'm not going to deny that there's some funny parts, but I just, like you said the other day, I think there's too much uncomfortableness for me to handle.
Is awkward.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
And I don't handle like the awkward movies too well. I just the whole time I'm having anxiety. Yeah.
Anxiety about Elf.
Over at Christmas.
Anxiety. Well, I understand it this year, man. Anxiety is high.
Okay. Well, we're not going to count that one because, we
do count it because, you suck.
Well, no, I mean, we did count it. I'm saying, but in the fact that I didn't get it.
Okay, don't be a sore loser now.
I'm not being a sore loser. He was a beastly, bulging man.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Christmas Vacation.
This is the smallest inconsequential part of the whole movie, and I think it's one of the when Eddie goes and kidnaps Clark's boss, who is, by the way, Bill Murray's brother.
Yeah.
and the wife is talking to the cops and is like, was wearing a blue leisure suit and had Kansas license plates. He was a beastly, bulging man. Because if you noticed earlier on when Eddie and Clark were in the Walmart, and by the way, it was the old Walmarts.
Yeah.
And Eddie had his package just like vacuum formed to his thigh there. So when they came back later and she described him as a bulging man, I was just like,
gosh.
oh God. And when I was thinking about this the other day, when I came up with we should do this. Yeah, when we should do this back and forth, and I thought of that line all day at work. I was thinking he was a beastly, bulging man.
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
If I was your wife, I'd hit you with a rubber hose.
And the funny thing is when they all freeze there, Ellen.
Yeah, grabs his nuts.
Yeah.
Package. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I remember that, seeing it in the theater. Everybody was like, oh. I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you were growing on my ass.
Home Alone.
Yeah. I love that whole scene when they're in Buzz's room. Check it out, old man Marley.
You know why I think you probably like that? Because it probably reminds you of somebody. Does it remind you of your cousin a little bit?
And my brother.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah. It's like if you put those two together and put them in a movie, like a match, like smash them together. Yeah. Both of them.
Both of them.
What kind of idiots do you have working here? The finest in New York.
What kind of idiots do you have working here? The finest in New York? Is that
What
Home Alone 2?
Boom.
Okay.
With Tim Curry. He had Tim Curry and
Rob
Schneider. And then who was the woman that played Professor McGonagall or whatever in Harry Potter, the older woman.
I don't remember her name.
Tim Curry did the best on the edge of tears look after that slap ever. Because he was just like, do bundle up, madam. It's quite cold outside. And he was just like, I love Tim Curry. Tim, where are you at? Please come back. I love you, Tim. I know you didn't like, that whole thing with the Rocky Horror Picture Show you're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
But we love you.
Well,
please come back.
Remember that one video you sent me of Tim Curry in the weird music video where he was dancing around like a vampire or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really. He's done some weird stuff.
But he did the worst. Remember that movie back in the 80s, the worst Little Witch or whatever I think it was called.
I don't know.
And they did a show of it, like an updated show.
Oh, on Netflix.
Yeah. But originally it was a movie back in the 80s, and the whole thing was them trying to learn, all the girls, the witches, trying to learn this show because he was the Grand Wizard and he was gonna show up on Halloween, and he does this. Now, I'm just remembering as I'm talking about it, but he does this trippy ass song that he sings. And,
is that video?
I don't know.
Where he's
he is
in that iridescent suit.
Man, I don't remember.
It's just weird.
Because the headmaster to that was the lady from Facts of Life, the main lady, the older lady.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Well, Mel, I think you won that one.
Hells
unfortunately. Yeah. Guys, enjoy Christmas. I know you're not going to be with your families this year. We're not going to be with our families. We're just
staying home.
But there's worse things. I don't mean it like that. I kind of laughed when I said that because I'm like, well, maybe not everybody loves being with their families. But
you just got to try to make the best of it.
It is what it is this year. It's more than likely it's not going to be like this next year.
Right. 1
year isn't going to be that big of a deal. And please, people, for the love of God, stay home.
Stay home.
Don't go out because we're seeing that big spike with COVID from Thanksgiving, and they think it still hasn't even peaked from that it's going to be into next week. It's so guys, it's only going to be for this year.
You should stay home in your pajamas, watch one of
Yes.
these great movies, watch one of the bad movies, whatever.
Yeah.
And just chill.
You could still eat bad stuff. You can
Yeah.
still drink alcoholic beverages.
Just go to the store, get all your snacks and goodies, and
That was how it was for
Pig
Thanksgiving
out.
for us. We did the whole 9 yards with it. Now my dad did come over.
yeah.
And, I was on the fence on whether or not he should come over because he had that heart attack earlier this year.
Yeah.
But when I called him to talk to him about whether or not he was going to come over, and I'm like, where are you at? And he's like, oh, I'm at Menards. I'm like, God.
Dope.
Well, I'm like, well, you might as well come over because you're going out anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll see for Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on because, you got Christmas and then Christmas, Eve.
Christmas Eve. Christmas
So, because
Day.
we have Christmas Eve here.
Yeah.
So, but I think, I haven't called anybody, but I think everybody pretty much knows that ain't happening.
It is a bummer that we won't be able to get together with the rest of our family, but at the same time, I know you're not that disappointed about staying home and not having to go out anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't, even for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too.
Even for Thanksgiving, I love your family and I love cooking for them.
Yeah.
But there is definitely something to be said about not having to travel somewhere, live out of a suitcase, and just I like to be even close to home because for the people who don't know, my in-laws live about an hour 45 minutes away, and I know that's not a far, that's not a big distance. But when you're done with that day, you know how it is at the end of a holiday.
Yeah.
It's been all that build up, and then you're in it, and then at the end you're just like,
you just don't want to see anybody, talk to anybody.
and the
just
last
wanna,
thing you want to
zone
do
out.
is have to get into a car, and drive for another hour 45, 2 hours or whatever. You just want to go home and be like there in 20 minutes and kick off your shoes and just decompress.
Yeah.
'Cause
I think especially as you get older, it gets old.
Yeah.
But we do it because we love our family and whatever.
Christmas Day I don't mind.
But it's not a huge deal for us to stay home too.
No, I have no problem with staying at home. I mean, I want to see my family, and ultimately, that's great. But
now we have Zoom parties.
and we should. I really want to look into that, having everybody connect over Zoom. I mean,
why not?
I don't know.
Just set up the computer in the corner.
And everyone could have their bottle of wine, and
yeah. We'll all turn on Christmas Story and.
Yeah, be like, son of a bitch! Look at this is the 1 year where we actually subscribed to the right channel for the Bells of St. Mary's. And you guys aren't here. Come on.
Oh, what are the chances?
So, people, I think that's pretty much going to be where we're going to end it for this one. I want to thank my wife for coming on here, being cool with it.
Thanks for including me.
Thank you for coming on here and kicking my ass when it comes to. And you picked a movie that I didn't like. That's kind of cheating. It's kind of cheating a little bit.
But you should have known it because we've watched it.
Yeah, I know.
We just watched it.
Well, you watched it. I watched
and I tried to pick the line that was the easiest to know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But, folks, if I don't do another episode before Christmas, have a great Christmas. Be safe. Be smart. Stay at home. I want you guys all here next year listening. Not because I like you, because if you guys aren't around, there's going to be 3 people listening to this podcast. But in all seriousness, I don't want to see anybody get hurt by this or your family members or whatever. This is serious. It looks like there is a light at the end of the tunnel here, but it's so dangerous right now. So everyone just play it smart.
Even if you're not concerned of yourself getting it, just do what you can to protect your family.
And we want you to be here next year for Christmas, so you can be with your families and you can, be here with your kids or whatever, your parents. Just be safe. I love all you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Life Day to all the Wookiees out there, or as the Wookiees would say,
no, that was horrible.
That's it. We're out. It's over. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.